Hi, my name is Brad Emery, and this is my introduction video for AEP 855 Educational Leadership. So let's start with a little bit about me. First off, I have a wonderful wife and son whom I love very much. There's a few pictures of them. My son's 2.5, and my wife and I have been married for just a little over 5 years at this point. We're loving our time with him as he's growing up and getting old too fast. Um, One of the things we did recently that seems a little bit crazy now is we just acquired 4 new puppies. We've got a poodle, a red poodle, you can see there with Jameson, our son, as well as a golden retriever who my wife Courtney is holding, and 2 golden doodles. Our goal is to breed these dogs and produce some golden doodles of our own in about 2 years. So if you like the look of these puppies, or if that's something you're interested in, definitely give me a call and we'll put you on that list. But right now we feel a little crazy, but we're looking forward to getting them through the puppy stage and into a point where we can enjoy having these dogs. One of the other things that we do that keeps us busy outside of school is my wife and I run a photography business. You can see a few images here of our current model team of high school seniors. We do all types of photography, but primarily focus on seniors and wedding photography. We really love doing that together as a family, and that's just one of many things that is a way to keep us busy. I am currently an elementary teacher at St. John Elementary in St. John, Kansas. I teach 3rd and 4th grade math. I've taught 5th grade in the past, as well as exclusively 3rd grade in all subjects. I'm currently loving the change, and we've switched things up so that we're departmentalized, and I have the opportunity to teach just math. I'm thinking that's probably going to switch next year with the class sizes since we are a small school, but I always welcome the challenge and really love this age group of kids. This is my 5th year teaching at St. John and my 6th year teaching altogether. Looking at some of these mindsets, the idea that all students can learn and grow really brings us back to that growth versus fixed mindsets. And it's pivotal for leaders to know that and believe that, not just know, but believe that all students can learn and will grow under the right instruction and with the right environment. The idea of social capital and teamwork, collaboration between teachers and all the adults and students in your building, that's always going to outperform individual talent. It's a tough one for our society and our culture, but we've got to work to eradicate the isolation that we see in schools if we want to do the best for our kids. And happiness is a choice. I love this quote that happiness and optimism are precursors to success, not merely the result of that success. So that's a great way to phrase that. As far as dispositions, confidence is really important for a leader. Leadership isn't popular. It's not a popularity contest, so you need to be confident in what you're doing as long as you balance those out with some of these other dispositions and practices, such as being a risk taker and decisive. You're not being careless, you're not being reckless, but you're not afraid of failure either. It's really important to have a sense of humor. They rated this lower than I would. I think sense of humor is pretty darn important for life and leads to that happiness we were talking about earlier. It's different than being funny. It's really an attitude, and I appreciated that that was something the article focused on as well. We also, as leaders, need to be empathetically assertive. This one took me a little bit to figure out and consider, but that idea of balancing patience and persistence, to really empathize and consider what is the other person feeling, to listen to their thoughts, to listen to their side of it, but you don't necessarily want that to sway you. You do want to make sure you're addressing their concerns and their needs, but you don't want to let it sway you away from the central goals and ideas and where your school is going as a whole and what's best for the community. And the one that really set it all together for me was a learner, and it's so important to me to always improve and always learn and grow, because I'm never going to know everything I need to. That goes back to that teamwork and social impact. You've got to have a team around you, and you've got to trust the people to learn. Practices, focus and prioritizing. You're looking at your important goals and objectives. Examining feedback and data. We're looking at what's relevant and making sure that you're using that relevant data, not only collecting it, but using it in a meaningful way. You need to focus on people, practicing and building that emotional intelligence. As far as ethical principles, there's 8: personal courage, public interests ahead of self, self-control, self-discipline, and integrity, task and employee centeredness, recognizing and maximizing talent, requiring high ethics from everyone, sensitivity and understanding, and inclusiveness. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of these here in a moment. As far as my critique, the mindsets, I really feel like that fight isolation one stood out to me. I know I have a tendency to kind of want to do things on my own, and I know that that's not the best way, but that was a good reminder, and it's something that I constantly have to challenge myself to step out of my box, step out of my comfort zone, and not only interact with people, but interact with them in a meaningful way that helps us grow together. It's easier for me to learn from others. It's harder for me to step out and really encourage others to learn as well. As far as dispositions, being empathetically assertive, I think that ties in with always learning. You need to always be learning about other people too. And as I mentioned, not only to be empathetic in listening and understanding their point of view, but to assert the best mission and goal of the school as well while doing that. For me, the practices of focusing and prioritizing are really important and something that I struggle a little bit with. If I'm being perfectly honest, that's an area that I see a need for improvement. It's easy for me to get distracted and to focus on things that aren't the main goal and to get off on rabbit trails. So that's one of the goals that I have, not only for this course, but for my future as a leader as well. And as far as ethical principles, I really questioned how do you require high ethics from everyone? I'm not sure I really came to a satisfactory answer other than modeling those and doing your best to live by those high ethical standards and live in such a way that others will follow. But I'll be eager to hear more about that as this class continues. As far as changes, I've mentioned the main ones. My big changes that I want to focus on are in my practices. That focus on prioritizing to make sure my important goals and objectives are what I'm spending my time and energy on. I want to make sure that the feedback and data that I collect is relevant, both in my classroom and in the future for the school that I have the pleasure of serving. And I want to make sure I'm focusing on people with that emotional intelligence. I'm looking at my time and realized I went over a little bit long here. Apparently that's a goal I need to focus on also. I tend to be a bit long-winded, but thank you for sticking with me through this, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you more in this class.